Geoplex Drilling Technologies is a wholly indigenous oil and gas service company which provides oil field services to the upstream industry in Nigeria and the West African coastal region. Wole Ogunsanya is the Managing Director and Chief Executive.
Geoplex is a company we started in 2002 to provide well services to the oil and gas industry. Well services are activities carried out in the well with technology to determine the properties of that well. Basically, what you find in that well, if it's oil, gas, and sometimes water that we will not really be interested in. So we're a technology company. We have invested heavily in our equipment and training our personnel, to be able to carry out these services that used to be carried out by a multinational company. Actually, I used to work for one of them, and it's from this experience that we brought into the industry under the local content law to be able to ensure that we're able to create values.
Following government policies aimed at encouraging and ensuring more participation by competent Nigerians in the upstream oil and gas industry, Geoplex Drilling Technologies is well positioned to maximize the opportunity presented by this development.
The vision of Geoplex is very clear. We want to become the leading well services provider to the oil and gas industry. And I think we have been doing that very well. In fact, when we set this target about 10 years ago, we wanted to be a leader. And a number of our services that we are providing, including electric wireline services, drilling measurements while drilling, logging while drilling, gyro services, we have become the leader as far as the industry is concerned as an indigenous company. Our mission is very clear. We want to expand what we're doing into other parts of Africa. Right now, Geoplex is registered in Congo, Brazzaville. We're setting up facilities, and in 2016, we'll be carrying our first services outside the shore of Nigeria.
The company aspires to become a world-class service provider in the areas of high-quality wireline services and drilling technology services.
In what we do in our sector, we probably lead in terms of the asset acquisition that we have made. As I said earlier, the industry is about good equipment and the well-trained people that you have. We have trained our people very well. Geoplex trains, I think, probably as good as any of the multinational companies in the services we deliver. We have continued to employ Nigerians. This company at the time had over 360 employees. Nigerians, that were on our payroll. We've reduced that a little bit because of the downturn, but the goal is very clear, for us where we're going. The other great achievement we have made is that we've managed to register this company outside the country. We're one of the few indigenous companies that are set to provide services outside the country. Others that are doing this within the short span of this company when we started. Where we are, we think being able to step outside the shore of Nigeria. We've provided services in Cameroon, for instance. We're going to be doing that in Congo, in Ghana, and Ivory Coast very soon.
The formula to succeed in the oil and gas industry is not rocket science, and so, having invested heavily in high-tech equipment, an essential strategy for the continued growth of the company is training and manpower development.
Geoplex has been involved in taking on NCD recruits and graduating them in terms of developing more skills, within the country. So I think also training is very important. For us in Geoplex, training is very essential. We want to hire good engineers, but not only that, we want to train them. All of our engineers are certified. A number of them are trained not just within the country. When it's necessary, we send them outside the country to be trained. especially by equipment manufacturers and our partners. And these guys comes back and they do a wonderful job.
To further add value to clients' need, detailed attention is paid to building capacity of the staff. However, the organization craves for accessibility to funds for enhanced service delivery.
We spend a lot of money training our guys, and we contribute to the Nigerian Training Fund. We would like to see them to be a little bit more active in terms of supporting us. This fund is there. We're all made to pay every year into their coffers. We want to see the government on this side of it. These institutions are set up, deliberately through, good strategy and policy to ensure the support. So training, we would like to see more support from the training fund in terms of, helping us to train our guys. The board is funded by funds from the oil and gas industry. All of us pays 1%. Everybody in the oil and gas industry pay 1% of their contract value of the revenue that you earn to the NCDMB. And this is a substantial amount of money meant to develop local content in Nigeria. So the program that NCD has, which was to fund some of us that, trying to grow and trying to do the right thing in acquisition of some of the equipment we have that we need. We want to see NCD to revisit this and be able to bring this fund to us to be able to use.
Industry stakeholders agree that gas flaring wastes resources and harms the environment, which is why concerted efforts have been made to reduce flaring and increase gas usage.
The country actually have potential for more gas than oil, but we lack the infrastructure, basically pipelines, to be able to move this gas, from where they are, in the oil field into where we could use them for power, even to power our home and, for the generality of Nigerians to be able to use gas. So that's, for me, is a challenge that this country has to overcome. Basically, what are the infrastructure we need to have on ground to be able to move this gas, especially for the power sector and the industrial sector, to reduce the cost of power. As we all know, most industries, including us, have to rely heavily on generators rather than producing this power, air mass, which is a lot cheaper and create a chain of economic value for the industry.
Wole Ogunsanya believes instead of flaring gas, it can be put into optimal use by Nigerians.
I will also want to recognize, the fact that we're not even using gas enough in terms of our domestic use. This has a huge potential to revolutionize this country. The domestic gas utility should be a policy that the government should work on. What it implies is that how do we take the gas that we produce, basically the LPG, and feed it into the home? What are the essential things we need to put in place to be able to do this? Some of us have proposed the model that was used in Indonesia, where over 5 years the country transitioned from use of kerosene to gas. The whole country up to 85–90%. These are things that we can look into, and I think it will revolutionize this country. It will reduce the subsidy that the government is spending that can be used on other things that the country needs in terms of infrastructure.
He also speaks on the challenges and the way forward for the company.
One of the biggest challenges we always have is funding, which means basically how much funding is out there for you to be able to, acquire the equipment that you need, to run your business. So funding is very challenging. And I think the biggest part of it is when you even get this fund, the time that you have to pay back is very short compared to other parts of the world. And when I'm competing with the multinational companies to provide the same services that they are providing, when they get that money cheaper and have a more favorable terms than me, then they have an advantage already. So vision in the next 5 years is very clear. Number one, we want to double our revenue, from where we are right now. We're going to achieve this by moving this country out of Nigerian shores. What we are doing that we developed in Nigeria and have become experts in it by Nigerians, we're moving these things out of the country right now. We're already working in some of the African countries, and our operations in Congo is expanding. We're deliberately expanding to the Western and the Southern African countries. We're involved in so many tenders that are ongoing outside Nigeria, within Africa. So that's the vision we have. We also want to strengthen our position at home. And one of the things we declared, about a year ago to our staff, because we're very passionate about our personnel. Every personnel in Geoplex are very passionate about the company. We are looking at, within the next 4 years, this goal was set 1 year ago, that this company will pay equal salary for equal job compared to any company in the world. That is a very clear vision. We're very passionate about it. We think, we're on our way to doing that.